So for step 9, the rear bulkhead, you can see that we need to grab the trailing arm linkage that we built in the last step. We've got this T11 piece, T2 and T10, and then eventually it's all going to look like that once we've screwed everything in with these screws and these kingpins. And of course there are the pieces that we're going to need, and of course our trailing arm linkage as well. So I'll set this up and we'll put this together. So first off, you can see that we need to put this all together before we add these other pieces. So if I grab the T11 piece here, we need to grab the short ones. So let's make sure I've got the shorts. Yes, let's grab a short one. And you can see that we're going to use one of these MB1 screws, going to put that through there. Then it's going to go into one of these king pins, and they're metal, which is nice. So it's going to slide through just like that. And then it's going to screw into this one right here. Now, I'm just going to position this a bit better so that I can grab the screwdriver. And let's see what we can do here. Make sure that's going in correctly. Yes. Mostly. Just going to pull it back a bit. It's not quite going in level. There we go. Good. That's going in level. So we'll screw these into the end. And don't over tighten, because it's not the same thing as using the tapping screws in usual Tamiya kits. I just want to get it to the end, and because you don't, you could end up stripping things out with it not being a tapping screw. So I just want to get it to the end here. Yeah, and once I feel a bit of resistance, that's it. I'm stopping. Yeah, there we go. So there is one of our trailing arm linkages. So now let's go with the longer one. And again, just going to do a quick check. Yes, it is. So again, we're going to grab our MB1, slide it through there, grab our king pin. That's got to sit just like that. And again, we're going to slide that into the bottom one now. So again, I'm just going to figure out how to hold this correctly while I show you. Let's do it this way, I think. And just make sure that it's going in level. And you can see that it's not quite. It's got a upward look to it. So I'm just going to drop that a bit. Make sure that that's correct now. Yes, it is. So we'll screw this in. And again, I'm not going to go too far. As soon as I have resistance, I will be stopping. There we go. I'm at the resistance point. So there we go. There is one side of our trailing arm linkage attached to that bulkhead. So you get the idea. So I'm not going to put the other two on camera. I think you'll be able to figure that out, no problem. So I'm just going to do that right now, and then we'll come back and put that last couple of pieces on. So there is the linkage all attached to that bulkhead piece. So we can move on to this next bit, And you can see from the way this is shaped, it doesn't matter which way it goes, but this one it does, because you can see that the top part that the screw is going to go through is at the top. So this needs to slide through just like that. Then we're going to slide this screw into here and screw that in. So we'll just start this off. Make sure that's going through correctly, and it's not. You can see it's angled. So I'm going to pull that back, make sure that it's going in correctly. Yes, that looks right. Now you're going to have to figure out and have a feel for how that's going to sit, but for me, you can see how I've got my fingers on this and I'm using my thumb to push back. That seems to be the easiest way to get a hold of the piece you're trying to screw in. Yeah. Yep. It's not the easiest thing in that there's not a lot you can hold on to, but we're almost there. And again, once it's at the end, which it is, I'm just going to stop. And that feels pretty tight. Now, it says don't over tighten, so I'm actually going to just pull this back a bit. And that way I've got free movement. Because if you do it too much, you lose that movement. Okay, good. So, next thing, we're going to grab that bulkhead, and you can see that this piece is sitting in like that, because this screw is going to go in at the bottom hole right there, which you can see it because of the way that's shaped, right? It's going to fit in there nicely. So again, this is going to go in and down at the bottom. And of course, this top part there, just so you can see, is going into the top hole there. So in fact, that's how it's going to sit. Well, it's popped up, you get the idea. So I will put that screw back in there. Make sure it's in there correctly. I turn my hand around because I need to be able to get this screw in. I'll just start it off. Or not. It's moved. Not a lot of room in the back there to get your finger where you need it to be. Okay, let's try this. I gotta turn that. Try that. Bit awkward in the back here where I've got my finger trying to hold it in place. It wants to move on me, so let's try. There we go. Now I've got a hold of it. Okay, let's try this from here. It's a bit awkward, but you get it in the end. There we go. And once it's in, don't over tighten once again, because these are not tapping screws. Once they're in, they're in. So there we go. That is what your bulkhead will look like, and that piece sits at the top, just like that. So step 9 is complete. So now we're going to move on to step 10 and attach the rear bulkhead.